MTG.com Modern Open in Orlando, brought to you by Ultimate Guard. I'm Nick Miller alongside the world champion, Braun-Duin. How you doing?
I am doing well.
It's nice to have you here for a player spotlight. We, of course, have seen you climb the ranks over the years, crushing the Open Series, the GP circuit, the GP Master, into the world champion. And now you're here on the SCG Tour, kind of making a push for the Players' Championship here in Season 3.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm thinking about doing. I'm going to play the first two Opens, this one and the next one in Indy, and I'm going to see what happens from that and decide if I'm going to keep going or drop off or what I'm going to do from that point on.
Right, and of course you had a pretty strong finish in the New Jersey Invitational in the top 16, I think 16th exactly.
15th actually.
Okay.
Got in there by one, had a little breather room, but
right. And we saw like a spoiler of the World Championships coming up. You know, you played Bant Eldrazi, but you played a Delirium deck in Standard there.
Yeah.
Brad hadn't convinced you to play Bant Humans yet?
Not yet. No, I was still stubborn at that point. So was able to over the course of testing decide that Humans was just the better deck.
Okay. So coming off the Invitational, you kind of knew Bant Eldrazi was a good deck where you wanted to be in Modern.
Yeah.
Talk about your prep for Worlds then.
So we went into, actually directly after the Invitational, Brad and I flew to Seattle and we met up with Joel Larson and Martin Mueller there. And we basically decided to, we wanted to focus mostly on Standard and Limited because those were the two biggest formats for Worlds. So a lot of what we did was like testing some Standard while somebody was drafting, things like that. We ended up actually testing Modern way more than we wanted to. And there was a lot of disagreement about what Modern deck we were going to play. We actually ended up playing different things. Martin and Joel were really big on Living End. Brad and I were not so big on it. And Brad ended up spiraling all the way down to Jund. And I ended up just playing Bant Eldrazi, the deck that I was familiar with. But yeah, we basically spent a week and a half in Seattle just grinding to prepare for that tournament.
Right, you absolutely crushed the constructed portions of that tournament. I mean, you crushed the entire tournament, let's be honest. How do you feel after the fact? You know, you've been kind of climbing the ranks, beating every tournament structure up to this point. You're now the world champion. How does that feel, you know, coming back to an Open like this where you kind of made your name?
It feels kind of cool, actually. It feels awesome. Like, just to go from playing in Worlds and actually like winning that tournament and how amazing that is and just getting to be the world champion, just going back to playing in the tournament series that I played for multiple years and just having a chance to go back and do that is just really awesome. It's just a good chance to have a lot of fun. Sometimes Magic is taken super seriously, especially in Worlds and stuff. And while I did have fun in that tournament, like here I'm just looking to just play some Magic, have a good time, see what happens.
Of course, you're on Bant Eldrazi this weekend. If it's worked before, it's going to keep working?
We'll see. You never know. I think the deck's really good, but it is a deck that has, I wouldn't say consistency issues. It is pretty consistent, but it has a very wide range of draws. Like some are unbeatable, some are like you're playing a 3-2 on turn 3, so that's kind of where it's at.
Well, that seems right up your alley, Mr. Squire himself,
That is true, yeah. I also play a lot of Kitchen Finks, so I know about that 3-2 on 3 life, so.
Would you recommend the Bant Eldrazi deck? You seem to have been sticking to it for a while, you've had success with it, and it seems to be a big part of the room today.
Yeah, I think it's, I hesitate to say best, but I think it might be the best deck in Modern. Not the most powerful deck by any stretch of the imagination. It's nowhere near where Eldrazi used to be, but it's just a very consistently strong deck. It's a fair deck, sort of, but you are fast enough to punish like people who stumble. So I don't know. It's just a deck that seems like really good against most of the field and just is like a powerful, proactive deck.
Well, you won your first Open at the beginning of this, this year for the Players' Championship race. So you got to buy into this event. You kind of top 8'd the Open. After that, you have a Players' Championship top 4 in the first year we ran it. You're looking to get back. You have 2 events. What are you kind of hoping to do? What is your threshold for kind of looking forward on the Season 3?
I don't actually have a direct threshold in terms of how well I need to do. to make it to season 3. It's more of a how do I look in the standings. So a lot of it's also going to depend on how some of these other people are doing as well. If I'm, within striking distance of some of these other players who are trying to make a run for it, then I'll probably keep going. But if I look and I'm like, 10th in the standings and all these people are just way ahead of me, then I probably will just move on. So it's not just like I need a top 8 or like I need 2 top 16s or whatever. It's also just how am I doing compared to other people.
All right. Well, everyone in season 3, you better look out. The world champ is coming for you. BBD,
Maybe.
Thanks for joining me here in the sideboard.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned to StarCityGames.com all weekend long for the action here in Orlando.